Hello everyone, happy Friday. Welcome to Straight Talk on Social Media. This is Ian Escher, Digital Marketing Specialist from Pivot Group, talking at you on this last Friday in September. And I'm sorry to say, if it's bad weather where you are, things in Portland are still lovely. We are enjoying our hidden summer month, September. It's going to be 80 degrees here today, supposedly. So come along. Anyway, we're going to be talking today about great campaigns. This is going to be, I think probably we'll do this on a quarterly basis, just sort of look at some great social media campaigns that are out there and what we can take away from them. But for right now, before we get into that, let me go ahead and launch into the news. First of all, MySpace is trying to make a comeback, and this time around, instead of being the home for everyone or the home for just musicians, now they're thinking maybe they'll be the home for artists. So I think it's interesting. They're sort of trying once again to reboot what was a very popular social network and has sort of fallen on hard times. And here you can see a preview of what the new MySpace is going to look like. And you can see it is more of a layout that is geared toward people with an artistic sense. It also looks a lot to me like Pinterest, but you can see it does have that sort of more visual feel to it. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with MySpace with this new redesign. There was a Forrester report that came out that really had some bad news in terms of sales via social media. And I'm going to make this graph here a little bit bigger. Basically, the idea or the finding from this Forrester report was that new customers and repeat customers, less than 1% of them are coming through social media posts. Now, I think that number, it reflects, literally through a, literally from somebody posting something on a company page. Probably also includes Facebook. Well, may not include Facebook ads because there are, in fact, a display ads category. And everything I read about it sort of was talking about just posts. So I don't think it's necessarily the end of the world, but it is still showing that people coming directly to your website or having finding you through organic search, those are still the biggest things. Or email is still big, especially for repeat customers. So it was interesting to see this, and I think sort of leaves open this question of, well, what does this really mean for social media? Is social media going to be a big place for sales? And I think the jury really is still out on that. Speaking of that, though, Facebook has teamed up with Datalogix to really try to track some return on investment for their ads, and basically what Datalogix is going to help Facebook do. And some people are sort of criticizing this because of privacy concerns, but the idea is to actually somehow be able to track offline purchases that were sort of as the result of a social media post that might be happening. And so Datalogix has ways of tracking that through identity matching and things like that. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that, and if Facebook starts sort of boasting more numbers about return on investment of Facebook ads and Facebook posts. Speaking of Facebook, they're about to start charging for the offers that companies can put out on their Facebook pages. Right now, if you go to create an offer, it says that you can try it one time for free, and then after that, it looks like they're going to be charging. So just know that if you're thinking about doing that, you may be paying for it. It's still not, I think the price is still not that expensive, and certainly not as much as you would pay somebody like a Groupon to do business with you. So anyway, still I think probably overall a good deal, but just know that that's going to be happening if you think about a Facebook offer. And then hot off the press, literally I read this 15 minutes ago and got it added into my presentation here. Facebook is adding a new category called Facebook Gifts. And you can see sort of this is the screenshot from Facebook's page on this. That what's going to happen is actually it's going to when people Facebook shows you up in the top right-hand corner of your screen, it shows you whose birthday is today, and it's actually going to start adding in gift possibilities. So that you can say, hey, it's my friend's birthday, and now I can just click easily and send this person a gift. And so you buy the gift, and then you add a message, and they handle the shipping because they have people's addresses. And then your friend is notified, and so they then can enter their shipping address if their address isn't on Facebook. And it's interesting, they can swap for a different size, flavor, or style before the gift ships. So I think that's really interesting. They can decide, oh, I don't really like that purple T-shirt that Ian got for me. I'd rather have this red one. And then the gift arrives. So it goes to the person. I think this is a really great idea for Facebook to do, and I think it's probably going to help them make some money. I did below this shot that I'm showing you here. There was a link for businesses who are interested in joining onto this, and just to give you an idea of the sorts of things that Facebook is asking about. A description of business and products offered, the type of product that it is, and you can see there's a particular range of things that they're really looking for here, right? Food, apparel, home and design, digital subscriptions, baby, kids, pets, wine, beverages. So those are sort of I think obviously going to be the sort of hot spaces for what they're looking for people to sell. Average range of price range of products. Do you have a fulfillment method, which hopefully you do, because I have a feeling that they'll look badly on anyone who doesn't. And then the very last thing that's at the very bottom of this little screenshot I got, list any awards, recognition, or press received. So they really are looking for some, top-level companies to be offering these gifts through. Anyway, I think it's a really interesting program, and it'll be interesting to see how it takes off. This would be a great time for me to remind you that if you have any questions as we go along here, you are welcome to use the questions view in your GoToWebinar control panel to ask a question. And I say that because I do see a question that's come in right now. It says, are the Facebook offers still in beta mode, or do all pages have access to offers? That's a great question. I believe that all pages have them, but I'm actually not entirely sure about that. And the reason I'm not sure about that is the pivot page itself does not have an offer system. But I don't think that's because we're in beta. I think it's probably because we've listed ourselves as a B2B business. That's just a guess. But I have a feeling that because of how we've classified our business, Facebook is not offering offers to us. But that is an interesting question, and I'll try to find out for sure and get back in touch with you about that. Anyway, let's jump into the focus topic, straight talk on great campaigns. Again, this is just a thought of everybody likes seeing what other companies are doing on social media and sort of get good ideas from other companies. And so, every quarter or so we'll do one of these webinars on great campaigns, just talk about what some companies have done and what are some highlights of that you can take away and maybe try for yourself. So first of all, Oreo has this Twist campaign. So this is it's on their website, but also it's through their social media page. And you can see here, all they're doing is taking these, photos of Oreos and using them in some sort of interesting way to highlight current events that are going on. So September 25th was National Voter Registration Day, and so they made this, picture of an Oreo like a ballot being dropped into a ballot box, right? And then September 26th, I'm not sure if there was actually a cultural event that went along with this, but 3-hour tour goes wrong. That's obviously a reference to Gilligan's Island. And so here you can see the 7 Oreos, the 7 characters of Gilligan's Island, cast adrift on a plate, and so that's just a fun cultural reference. And then just yesterday, the announcement of the NFL refs returning, which anybody who cares about NFL football is probably pretty happy about. And so here they've got a great view of an Oreo with its cut with some stripes to look like a referee's uniform. And so a really fun campaign that is capitalizing on current events and getting people to engage, and it's become a viral sort of thing because they're doing a good job of having a good time with it. And it also has collaboration. They're doing this for 100 days in honor of their 100th birthday. So Oreo is turning 100 this year. And so, of course, they've got a Facebook campaign to go along with that, so that you can submit your own pictures of of yourself with Oreos in whatever way, having a fun time. They were hoping to get 1 million of those, and I think they're now past 2.5 million pictures of people with their Oreos. And so that's, they're sort of calling it memories from the last 100 years. And more than that, I was putting this webinar together, and I was working at home actually, and I opened up my refrigerator, and surprise, there right in front of me was my milk carton with August, and here was Oreos ad right on my milk, because of course, what goes better with Oreos than milk? And so I just thought that was funny, that here all of a sudden, was the campaign coming to life right in front of me, and so I snapped the picture with my phone, and there it is. So you can see Oreo is really making this a campaign that's not only going across their website and social media, but also actual products that are hitting the shelves, and not just their own products, but products that are closely related to theirs. So the next great campaign I want to talk about is Volvo's Joyride campaign. And one of the things I like about this campaign, so many popular social media campaigns these days are run through Facebook, which is great, but this one is a Pinterest contest. And so I like that Volvo is doing something with Pinterest. And basically what they're doing here is they're saying, we are going to pay for, I think it's 3 people, and actually I think I've got here on the next slide, you can see some of the official rules, and I think I've got that bumped up bigger. Yeah, so what's going to happen is that, people are going to create pin boards on Pinterest with the hashtag Volvo Joyride. And so you're going to not only pin pictures of the Volvo itself, but then also pin pictures of where you would like to go on a joyride to. What would be your ultimate road trip? And they give you some ideas: final destination, stops, outfit, music, and things like that. And they're really encouraging people to have a good time. And so you can see that the top prizes are these fantastic things. Use of a Volvo for your trip. iTunes gift card, gas gift card, Visa gift card, clothing gift card. I mean, there's all these sorts of fun things, and they're hoping that people will really get into this. And now you can see what a couple of people have done. So Ralphie Winston has talked about his joyride from New York City to Alaska, and so he's posting pictures of where he wants to end up and the food that he wants to eat, baked Alaska, which is kind of funny that he's doing that. That's fun, and things like that. Amy Smith has her things. She's also wants to be heading north. So I think it's funny that the first 2 I found were both people who wanted to head to somewhere cold. Anyway, so you can see that they're really getting their customers to engage in this campaign and really have a fun time with it. And that, I think, is ultimately one of the great signs of whether a campaign is doing well is how much people are engaging with it. So Oreo has its 2.5 million people who have submitted some kind of Oreo memory, and Volvo getting people to really put thought into their Joyride Pinterest boards. So that's another fun campaign. And the last campaign that I want to highlight briefly here is Grey Poupon's Society of Good Taste. Now, I don't remember, I don't know if you remember the commercial, the Grey Poupon commercial from the 80s, I believe. I certainly remember it from when I was a kid, where it's this very upscale man looking, eating Grey Poupon in his limousine, and he pulls up next to another, really fancy car, and another rich man leans his head out the window and says, "Pardon me, but would you have any Grey Poupon?" And the guy says, "But of course," and hands over his bottle of Grey Poupon. The idea being that Grey Poupon is just really a cut above when it comes to mustard. So really fun thing that Grey Poupon did is they've got this Society of Good Taste on their Facebook page, where you actually apply to become a member of the Society of Good Taste. Supposedly what they're doing is they are scanning your Facebook page and your connections and the sorts of things you're posting to see if you actually can be in this society. And they're actually rejecting people, which is sort of fun. And so here you can see, what the Facebook tab looks like, where they're introducing the idea, and it says only applicants with the most discerning palettes will be admitted, and that sort of thing. Those whose applications are denied will have their like rescinded. So one thing I love about this campaign, one of the things that's fun about a social media campaign like this, is they're taking the idea of social media and turning it on its head and saying, no, we're not just going to be here for anyone and everyone to like. We're actually going to make people, prove their worth, and of course that all goes along with the brand that they've set up for themselves and the story that they're telling as a provider of supposedly very fine mustard. And so you can see what has resulted on their Facebook page is some people getting a little angry, a little teed off about this. This guy Gordon Woodard, who, to be fair, has a video game as his profile picture, says 47th percentile. I'm lamer than almost half of the people who applied. But then the brilliant piece that Grey Poupon is doing is responding to these posts. And now they're not, I looked over a few of these types of posts, and Grey Poupon is using sort of a handful of canned responses, so they're not being original each time, which I sort of wish they were. But they are doing these responses that says, oh, there must be something wrong with our good taste algorithm. Try again, and we'll see if we can fix this anomaly. Similarly, Kristen Mooney, very sad I didn't get into the society. And then they say, please reapply. They're telling her, please reapply. There must be something that's gone wrong here. And I'm certain that whatever sort of system they're using to either approve people or deny people, I'm certain that whenever somebody reapplies, they're instantly in. I have a hard time believing that you would apply, get turned down, and reapply, and they wouldn't let you in. So I just think it's a really great campaign because they're not actually excluding anybody. They're saying no in sort of a fun way. Now they are actually making some people angry. That's going to happen. But they also are letting anybody who wants to be in, reapply and be in. I think it's a really clever campaign. Dangerous a little bit, but also clever. So those are the three campaigns that I wanted to talk with you about. They are they're all really fun in different ways. And I just want to talk about some takeaways from these campaigns. First of all, as I said, user engagement is really huge with these. So in all three of these cases, you have people doing something to be part of this campaign. For Oreo, it's submitting a memory, your Oreo memory. Now, I don't have an Oreo memory that I can think of. I don't have a memory that actually hinges around Oreos. However, I can certainly take a picture of me and my kids eating Oreos and upload it, and that's what I think most people are doing. And with with Volvo, people are creating these pin boards about their ultimate road trip and really putting a lot of thought and work into that. And with Grey Poupon, people are applying and allowing Grey Poupon into their Facebook accounts even to sort of do that sort of thing. So people really are taking an interest in these campaigns and are willing to do things for it, and that is what makes a campaign successful, because that means you've really got interested people who want to know more about your product and want to have fun with you, really. And another takeaway, speaking of that, is just make your products fun. I mean, in all three of these cases, I mean, who knew you could have so much fun with mustard? Right, Oreos sort of pride themselves on being a fun cookie, and basically their message is, in a serious life, there should be fun things like Oreos. And so just be willing to let yourself have a personality, let that shine through. I really truly believe that any company, no matter what you sell, what sort of service or product you sell, just about anything can be made to be fun, with the possible exception of people who work in mortuaries, right? But certainly for service providers, for people who sell different kinds of products, there are ways to have personality around that and let people have a good time. Third takeaway is just to remember that social media is about being positive. the Oreo campaign is sort of bursting with positivity and the spirit of celebration and having a fun time, you know, commenting on current events and letting people show their own pictures. You know, Volvo is, you know, is having people, you know, basically post their hopes and dreams about where they like to go, which is a lot of fun. And Grey Poupon, even though they are saying no to people, ultimately they're letting people reapply and automatically be in, right? And so they're, you know, ultimately I think it's not like they're actually creating an exclusive club. They know that what social media is all about. They know it's all about connections, and so they're keeping it positive as well. So remember that really social media is really about putting your best foot forward, and that's true whether you're a company or an individual. Timeliness is a good thing, and I think that's part of the reason that Oreo has hit on such a you know, such a hit with their Twist campaign, is that they're commenting on current events, and of course that takes, you know, it takes time and effort each day to do something like that. But you saw when we you know, a year and more ago when the Old Spice responses campaign came about, where the Old Spice guy was responding to Facebook posts and tweets and things like that that people were posting in, you know, in real time. You know, people love that sort of thing where you're responding either to them in real time or responding to you know, current events. I think really is a fun way to engage people. And of course, you want to do it in a fairly non-controversial way. You know, unless you want to get into you know, issues that you probably don't as a company. You know, you probably don't want to. There are ways of you know, talking about politics without taking sides, right? So Oreo did that great picture of for National Voter Registration Day, but you know, they didn't create the Romney Oreo or the Obama Oreo or whatever, right? So so it's always important to be sort of smart about how you do that. But again, timeliness is really a good thing when it comes to your campaigns. Huge budgets are not required. My fifth takeaway here. You know, of these three campaigns, it's really, you know, it's the Volvo campaign that of course takes a big budget. They're going to be giving out cars and you know, things like that to people who win that contest. You know, but Oreo, you know, all it's taking them is some clever graphic design and what it took for them to get the contest up on their Facebook page. The Grey Poupon thing, you know, they've created a Facebook app that gives them access into people's account. You know, but again, we're not talking about huge media buys. We're not talking about you know, superb video campaigns that cost a lot of money or anything like that. You can really do some of these really clever campaigns without spending all the money in the world. Make sure you cross-promote across channels. So all of these campaigns, I think with the exception of Grey Poupon, because I actually don't think they have their own website. But the other two, you know, are promoting this across on their website, and they're also talking about it in other social media places. So just make sure that if your campaign is primarily on Facebook, make sure you're talking about it on your Twitter feed or posting about it on your pin boards or whatever. Just so you know, people who react with you in various ways will make sure to see it. Dare to be original. You know, I think especially with Grey Poupon, you know, they really, as I said before, took social media and the ideas behind it and turned it on its head. And I think that has really helped sort of set them apart. And really, truly, what it did most of all was reinforce their brand for the sort of, you know, high society, you know, field that they're going for, which is always sort of tongue-in-cheek. So dare to be original. Make, you know, think about using social media in a way that people don't normally, or think about presenting yourself in a way that people are going to sort of step back and say, wow, that's really cool. And the final takeaway is just to think about why people will do certain things. Each of these campaigns asks something, and not really insignificant of people. Oreo campaign less so. You know, all you're doing is submitting a photo. So that's the least of these. But there's nothing to win there. You're just doing it for the sheer good feeling of being included in their campaign. For Grey Poupon, people are, agreeing to an app that is giving Grey Poupon access to their Facebook information, and all it's giving them is access into this good taste society, which of course is just a silly thing, right? It's just the ability to like Grey Poupon on Facebook, and yet people are so intrigued by the idea that they're willing to to have an app on their Facebook account that gives Grey Poupon some access to their information, and Volvo, obviously giving away something really tangible and big, and people are going to great efforts, to create these really good-looking pin boards that some real thought has been put into. And so just bear that in mind as you do your campaigns. People may be willing to do more than you think they are. I heard a story at a conference about a telecommunications company, I believe in Minnesota, that did a video campaign where they actually bought the rights to, I wish I could remember what the song was. They bought rights to a song, and then they asked people to make a video of themselves using the company's services with this song included somehow. It was "Do the Hustle." That was the song. It was "Do the Hustle." And I think they changed it maybe to "Do the Bundle." Right? So, and people really did it, and it really became a big, fun campaign for them. People will, do the things you ask them to do in your contests. If you've got a compelling prize, or even if you've just got a compelling idea that they want to be a part of. So just bear that in mind. So that's what I have. So a couple of questions have come in. Here's one. Ian, are you in the Society of Good Taste? No, I will admit I did not apply because I'm nervous about what it would tell me. Another question about the MySpace news, about them sort of looking more like Pinterest. I've sort of talked about Facebookification on these webinars before, about how companies are looking more and more like Facebook. A lot of social media sites sort of do things to emulate Facebook. But here's MySpace actually looking a little more like moving in sort of a Pinterest direction. The question is, do I think this is a new trend? I certainly think a lot of people are impressed by how Pinterest has laid itself out and made itself look really visually very, very nice looking. And we've seen actually even Facebook, giving a nod to an app that lets your Facebook photos appear sort of as, in a similar layout to how Pinterest looks. And so I don't think we're going to see social media sites really turn toward making their functionality more like Pinterest, but I do think Pinterest really hit a home run in terms of how they display information. And so I do think that we'll see, in terms of photo viewing and video viewing, I think we'll see more companies start to emulate that. Last question here, does Grey Poupon actually limit who likes their page, and does Facebook let you do that, screen your likers? Well, I don't think that I don't think Grey Poupon probably actually deletes likers once they have failed this test. Now I don't know that for sure. They certainly say you'll have your like rescinded, but then there were all those people who were posting after having not passed the test. All these people who are posting on their wall, which suggests that in fact their likes had not been taken away, or else they wouldn't be able to post on the wall. Facebook, Facebook does let you block users from your page. Now they would probably say that they do that to, to limit people who are using profanity or being inappropriate or things like that. But there's really no, as far as I know, no Facebook rules about why you can and can't delete people. So that's just something to know there. So that is all of the information I have for today. Thank you very much for joining me. The next webinar will be 2 weeks from today, Friday, October 12th at 11 o'clock Pacific time. The focus topic is to be determined at this point, but I'll make sure we get that over to you really soon here. Dave Neustron's next Straight Talk on Telco Marketing webinar, I believe, will be on Halloween, Wednesday, October 31st at 11 o'clock Pacific time for our telecommunications clients. Thank you all so much for joining us today. Really appreciate your attendance. Have a great weekend. Enjoy this, fall weekend that we're going to have in the U.S. And remember to keep your media social and your talk straight.